Well, folks, they did it. Vitality won the Blast Austin Major, completing their nearly perfect season. 7 major tournament wins in a row, a truly historic run. Zywoo is by far the world #1 player with a CS2 major in his name. And Apex, the villain of Austin, has taken another step closer towards the IGL Hall of Fame. Welcome to the Vitality era.
Your Blast Austin Major Champions Team Vitality!
Before we get into today's story, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Omen, for being our portal to possibility by sending our crew on an esports world tour, kicking things off in Austin, Texas, to experience the first North American CS major since, well, you know the one.
But it's no more play! Stewie's won the round! We go to overtime!
Unleash your ultimate gaming potential with the Omen Max 16 laptop. Crafted for powerful performance, the Omen Max 16 is equipped with up to an Intel Core Ultra 9 processor, offering gamers desktop-level performance anywhere, encased in a light, portable body they can take on the go. Then, there's also a groundbreaking new self-cleaning fan technology called Fan Cleaner. Powered by Intel, this built-in feature periodically reverses the fan's direction to prevent dust buildup for absolutely peak reliable performance. And for the first time ever, Omen gives players the ability to manually overclock their laptop's CPU and GPU for max performance, up to 250 watts total processing power without having to go into the BIOS. Thanks again to Omen for helping players navigate through any gaming obstacle to reach new levels with the Omen Max 16, now available at omen.com. And now, let's get back to our story.
The major grand finals here in Austin came down to a battle between the underdogs, the Mongols, and tournament favorites, Vitality. Regardless of who won, history would be made. The Mongols, both the youngest team ever and first team from Asia to win a major. Vitality would give us the first ever British player to win a major, and of course, their 7 tournament streak would cement them as one of the greatest rosters in Counter-Strike history. But before we get into that grand final matchup, let's first talk about how we got here. The quarterfinals were filled with a bunch of upsets, though that does depend on who you ask. Spirit versus Mouse was high-key the best series of the entire tournament in my opinion. Countless clutches, hella overtimes, and Mouse managing to find an answer to Donk and a spot in the semis. Pain upset Furia, with Snow taking down his idol Fallen, with Big Uzera getting rewarded for his years of pushing that team forward. Vitality 2-0'd Na'Vi, which wasn't much of a surprise. The maps were close-ish, and Vitality definitely didn't underestimate them, but it was another disappointing end for Na'Vi, and I think we can expect changes during the break. Then there was the big one, perhaps the biggest match of the entire event. FaZe versus Mongols. While the Mongols have been fan favorites for a little while, they were up against FaZe, who had the hopes and dreams of all of North America riding on the shoulders of Elige and some dude named Simple. But despite Simple's seeming return to form in the earlier stages, he completely fell apart here. I'm not sure if it was the nerves or heading in with too much confidence, but Simple was not getting his timings or his shots. And the crazy plays he used to get away with in CSGO were just not going his way this time around.
We got an aggressor, and Simple, oh, he's missed it! He knows what's up! No scope required! He's let it go! Oh no, a disaster for Simple!
It was tough to see, and even tougher for the fans here, who were going absolutely ballistic for FaZe, especially after that ridiculous clutch from Elige on Anubis. But ultimately, it wasn't meant to be. But that doesn't mean that something unexpected wasn't going to happen at this tournament. Which brings us to the semifinals. First, Mouse versus Vitality, a tale of revenge. Could Mouse finally beat their nemesis, and at the same time, put an end to the Vita era? Well, map 1 went as you would expect. Early domination from Vitality, and just as Mouse started to string together some rounds, Flamesy snuffed out any remaining hope with this play.
Left relying on the gunfights now, don't get me wrong, that's been good for Vitality.
What?
Flames, especially. No! It's happening! Flames can see through smokes!
A pretty brutal play to come back from, and Mouse didn't. But they didn't carry any negativity over to the next map because they bounced back with a masterclass on Vitality's map pick, no less. Flamesy and Apex had no frags for like half the map until Apex pulled off that insane swag 7 3K, but even that wasn't enough to gain any momentum. Torji was just too strong on the op, and at one point had the Moody Center chanting his name, which is huge for MOUZ as an organization in my opinion. And honestly, that could have been it for Vitality. If you start to let the tilt creep in when you get embarrassed on your map pick, it can be hard to recover. However, the exact opposite happened. Turns out Train was an awful decider for MOUZ. And whether or not Zywoo was pissed off or just fired up, he got activated and shut down MOUZ right then and there. Now, on the other side, we had Pain versus Mongols, underdog versus underdog, but boy, it did not shake out that way. Pain came out with a hot start on Mirage, exactly what they needed against a team like Mongols. But then Mongols came back with 13 rounds in a row, their raw aim and aggression proving way too much for Pain to handle. Anubis was just more of the same. Pain got pistol round, but then proceeded to get pistol whipped for the rest of the map, again losing 13-5, while Mongols became the first Asian team to ever make it to a major grand finals, if you don't count players from Kazakhstan. This gave us a pretty spicy matchup, one with a lot of pressure riding on both teams. The Mongols, an entire country behind them, and Vitality, an era-defining moment hanging in the balance. This season, the Mongols have been one of the few teams to actually take maps off of Vitality, but right before the matchup, Apex told the world that Cinderella stories are bullshit. He also greeted the booing crowd with a big old middle finger. And yeah, 3 rounds in, the Vitality reality was setting in. But slowly, the Mongols were making things interesting. And suddenly, rounds started going back and forth.
Vitality do have time to play, but that time's starting to add an extra layer of pressure. Walks while throwing grenades, that's killed. The 9-10 has the cover. Mezzi's gonna try to close the distance, Blitz, good support. Mezzi in the middle goes down. Mongols perfectly pieced together.
Eventually, Mirage was tied 5-5. And then Vitality didn't see another round.
Wait, look how Techno's scaling here.
Oh, perfect! Just through the side of it, Mezzi. How many clutches can he be put into, and how many can he come up with? Health advantage once more. Hits the headshot. What? They have really closed the distance, but maybe to their demise. Senzu tries to clear out that bomb site, and a pistol win for the Mongols. Trying to lock it in. There doesn't look like there's fire here for 9-10. He'll find Mezzi's head instantly. Palace player delayed for a second. Flashbang gets the raise some shooting. That is 9-10 full control. Blitz right behind him. The one that was slowly piecing together some kind of comfort zone. No comfort whatsoever. 9-10 hits another. He doesn't miss shots. And so this space dries up. He will do it all if he has to. As the others fall for him, no help is coming from Montana. 9-10 calls the emergency services. Vitality, they dead ahead. Him and Senzu combining with the Ox yet again. Techno backs turned to him, and the headshots follow through. No respect. It is a Vitality that is dead on arrival.
Sure, this was the Mongols map pick, but Vitality were the best team in the world by a large margin, and they were getting embarrassed again, this time on the first map of this grand finals. It started to set in to fans across the world and the Mongols favoring crowd inside the Moody Center that maybe this was possible, that maybe this team of young guns from the least densely populated country in the world might actually do it. But map 2 started and we immediately began to see the Vitality that we all expected. Utility, positioning, timing, and flanks, all flawless. Even when Senzu or Mzinho stole a crazy round, Vitality grabbed one right back. By the start of the second half, there was no way back in. Vitality was pulling off these crazy low HP clutches. Mezzi top fragging for God's sake. It honestly felt like the exact same response we got from Vitality when they dropped Inferno to MOUZ in the semifinals. They activated at the perfect time. So whatever the hell Apex said to his team during the map 1 break worked. And despite Inferno possibly being the Mongols' best shot back into this, given that Vitality had lost the map twice already, all we got was more domination, backed by years of experience. 9-10 missing shots, the ace he got on Mirage looking like a distant memory, Senzu on an island alone. The Mongols' dream was slowly dying as Vitality prove to the world that this was, in fact, their major.
They've kept the coffers well stocked for this. Challenge through the smoke goes down flat as hell. FaZe looking for temporary cover as Apex is here to relieve the pressure.
Oh, it's pristine.
Just absolute excellent
It's a dream.
B-site defense. Apex just dancing with the devil. 9-10 wounded down to 32. FaZe getting ever closer. Apex getting away with a robbery. Senzu from the back aside. Leading by example. And M4 over towards the library. Rop soon to jump down into the site. FaZe given a chance. That is a trio of frags. He is trying to take over the server on his day. 9-10 into the bomb site. Missed shot. And now we're talking about a post plan with an incredibly clutch player still alive.
This could be it.
Helping hands offered over by Robs. A round opened by FlameZ.
Techno approaching 100 HP, all the weight of the world on his shoulders.
So much clutch in his coffers, we know it. But Vitality, give him the space, and nobody's gonna swing just yet. They take their time, sweet time. Techno into the two. He's got both. But he doesn't find bomb immediately. Lucky he's got the kit. Luckily, he's got the clutch.
No one was booing them anymore. There was no point. Vitality proved their greatness was undeniable. And this wasn't even the Zywoo show either. He technically bottom fragged on Vitality while Mezzi was at the top of the leaderboard, getting the UK their first ever major win. Nevertheless, the MVP of the event did of course go to the Woo. GOAT status once again increasing. Same goes to Apex for his outstanding impact. This team is just too damn good. All the pieces just work so perfectly together. And to many, capping off their season with a major win, their 7th tournament in a row, makes the Vitality era a reality. At this point, all I can say is congratulations. And to the Mongols, all respect for putting up a good fight. Although the NA dream was snuffed out right before our very eyes on North American soil to boot, this was still a phenomenal major to watch. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Here's to next season.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.